Hi, how you going? Okay. It's my birthday. Birthday girl. How do you feel about when it's your birthday? Do you love your birthday? I'm one of those people that don't like their birthdays. Is it because it's another year older, and yeah, I guess it is. So I'm 59 today. 59. And I have recovered. I've recovered from the health illness thing I had a couple of weeks ago. Part of what slowed me down, I think I said I was going to try Terz. It's Terz. Oh, I can't even say it. One of the GLP1s. So my one was the Manjaro one, but it's not the pharmacy version. It's through a peptide company, so it's called termacleotide or something like that. They had sold out of semaglutide, and this was terzepatide. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to try microdosing it. I thought I started on a small dose. My dose was meant to be the standard dose for losing weight. I'm not using it to try and lose weight. The standard dose was meant to be 500 micrograms. So half a mil. 500 micrograms is half a mil. I did 100 micrograms the first week and was violently ill. And so what I mean by ill, I had the cold, so that didn't help me, but this just made it worse. And I didn't realize at the time, I thought it was the flu, but I thought it was, just a stomach bug or something that I had that was going around. It wasn't. It was the fact that I tried this GLP1. I only took 100 micrograms, and I did it for inflammation, to help control my blood sugar. I did some testing, and I had insulin was out and blood sugar levels were out. I'd just given up sugar, but it hadn't regulated. It's now about 4 weeks out of not eating high processed sugar foods, right? So I still have a bit of fruit, but I'm not having any high processed. I'm not eating chocolate. I'm not having any high processed, and I'm not having a lot of carbs at the moment. So I actually thought having this GLP1, I'm going to call it that so I can remember the name, temaclotide or something like that, I think it is. That's how you pronounce it. I thought I would start microdosing it. So I had watched Dr. Tina about microdosing it for insulin resistance, inflammation, brain fog. That's why I wanted to do it. It was not for weight control, because I didn't want to lose any weight. However, since I've been using it, I have never felt so bloated and fat in my life. Anyway, it makes you feel really bloated. It makes you feel yuck. Yeah, and it's given both signs of nausea, wanting to throw up, and diarrhea. It's awful. It's just horrible stuff. So, like I said, the first week I microdosed on 100 mcgs, micrograms. I didn't put two and two together that that was the terts that had given me the reaction, and hence the second week I increased my dose to 150 micrograms, which was last Tuesday, and I think I'd done a video on it last Monday. Anyway, I regret doing that so much. That was too much of a dose for me, even though that is what they call, that would be what they would call a fifth of the normal dose, right? A fifth. It was still too much for me. I'm due to have another dose tomorrow. I think I'm going to give my body a rest. I don't like the effect it's having on my body. I don't know, I've already spent the money on the product. If I am to try it again, I would probably maybe try it at 50 micrograms max. That would be a 10th of the normal dose. So perhaps I will try that, but I'm not trying that tomorrow. I just want to let it slide for another whole week. Try and start to feel normal and better, because I haven't felt good on it at all. I have not felt healthy on it. I've still tried to train through it, even though I haven't had a lot of energy. And so today I'm about to go to the studio and do a workout, but I've got to really push myself to do it, because my frame of mind for doing it is not great. I don't know whether it's because it's my birthday. I've hit this marker point that I wish I could be feeling better. Like, I feel okay health-wise. I have felt better though. I still feel really bloated in my stomach, and I have still felt hungry. So today I had just bacon and eggs on toast with a bit of tomato and on a bit of rye bread. So healthy, yes, very healthy. And I didn't have much. I had one egg, a little bit of bacon, a bit of tomato, one slice of rye bread, not a lot. I was hungry to eat that, so that's good. It hadn't take away my hunger, but it makes you feel horrible once you've eaten. Like, it's made me feel really bloated, which does not make me feel like I want to go to the gym and work out when I feel bloated and my stomach feels so big. So that's disappointing on it. Yeah, I just wanted to, really share with you the way I'm feeling. Health-wise, feeling stronger, but not feeling like myself. And still not sleeping normally either, because I feel like I cannot regulate my body temperature still. And I feel like this is down to this GLP1 that I'm taking. That's not helping me regulate my body temperature, even though I'm on HRT. So, and I'm drinking lots of water. I've just started today is drinking more oh God, what do you call it? Just drinking more of my amino acids. So, making sure I put Celtic salt in my water, making sure that, I put a little bit of magnesium and a little bit of potassium in my water as well. Trying to get my good aminos, because obviously I'm in Bali and I sweat a lot, and I know I have been having hot flushes still and lots of sweat still. So, as I said, having trouble regulating my body temperature. So yeah, drinking my hydrolytes. That's what I was trying to think of, the word. Hydrolytes, drinking hydrolytes. So yeah, I'm doing that. I wanted to check in. I just think it's a really weird time right now as well. I think this shift that we're going through, we have just made major shifts astrologically. We are in the sign, I'm Taurus, we're in the sign of Taurus. There's been some major big shifts. Yesterday was a new moon in Taurus, great for manifesting. I used to be very great into manifesting, but there's also this feeling of manifesting that also makes you feel disappointed if you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve at certain timelines. I think a birthday marker is really one of those. So yeah, if you're watching my channel for light and fluffy, switch away. So I'm about honesty and integrity here. So yeah, giving you the good, bad and the ugly. So whilst I mean, I feel blessed and thankful, but I am not light and fluffy. Let me say the energy on the planet right now is not light and fluffy. The energy on the planet right now is really pushing us. It's really, really pushing us to reflect, to go within, to ask questions, to mix it, change it up, to put ourselves out there. I mean, I'm wanting to put myself out there more because I do spend a hell of a lot of time, in solitude and alone. I have a nice social network of women here, but it's pretty also superficial to a certain extent, because you always got to, people don't want to speak that honestly. They don't want to hear negativity. And I'm not saying that I'm wanting to be negative, but I'm very reflective, and I'm very in tune with what's not happening in the right areas of my life. So I'm not down on myself about it. I know better than to be down on myself for the things that I wish would be going in a different way. Or so, like, for example, for me, I wish I had a relationship. I would love to be in a romantic relationship. I'm not. I know why I'm not in a romantic relationship. It's because it's quite hard to find genuine, authentic, male partners, or the potential to have a male partner. Particularly in Bali, it's really it's unauthentic, actually. And there's too many people here trying to find themselves. I'm not seeking for someone who's still trying to find themselves. I've found myself. I'm here. I'm here with all my flaws. I know what they are. I don't need somebody to fulfill me, but I would just like to share my life with somebody. So that's where I'm sitting there. I'm pretty much financially secure, so I don't need anybody to financially support me, because I'm financially supporting myself. I just get lonely for companionship, but I have, as I said, a good friend network, but I would like more. So obviously I'd love a romantic connection. I'd like to have somebody to travel with. So I haven't found that. I think that this is happening all over the world. This is not just happening to me. this is happening to women all over the world are struggling to find relationship right now. So I'm fully aware. I feel like also it's the more that you know, the harder it is for you to find relationship too. So like, whilst knowledge is power, the more you know about life, I guess the deeper you are, the more things that you are seeking in a partner. I guess also the more financially secure you are too, because you would like-minded, like financially secure, consciously awake. Yeah. That's not easy. Yeah. I think it's actually, sometimes I think the less knowledge you have, almost the happier and more vulnerable you are, and life kind of just wears you down the more educated, and I don't mean read, I mean life experience educated, I mean wisdom educated, I mean spiritual educated. The more that brings you more knowing, and I'm not talking about sitting cross-legged on a mountain kind of spiritual wisdom. I'm talking wisdom as a consciousness to humanity, what's going on in the world, how we have been manipulated, how humanity has been manipulated overall. I'm talking about the ruling elites. I'm talking about the slave program that we're all born into, those that are not ruling elites, those that are not part of the Freemasons and the Illuminati and all that. So the more you know about that, the heavier your own energy becomes, the more you want to meet somebody that is conscious like that. But I also think at the same time, the less you know, the lighter your energy is, the happier you are. Do you know what I mean? I've known this stuff for such a long time. So personally, because so I've been spiritual most of my life. So I remember astral traveling as a child, astral traveling as a little kid, 4 years old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old. I remember astral traveling even up until the age of about 12 in my classroom. So I had astral traveling experience. So a lot of spiritual experiences. I had a spiritual experience when my mum passed with my father, which helped save my life. And that was when I was 24. Yeah. I've had these spiritual experiences. I even remember my agreement coming into this life, right? My birth agreement coming in and pleading to come in. So I remember my experience on the astral plane with my light family. So yeah, I can say that I'm very spiritual. Is that a good thing or a bad thing though? You know, because sometimes it just hasn't served me. The less we know, the lighter we can be, the more carefree. Yeah. Anyway, I know I've started ranting. I think I'm just going to leave this here. I might have to come back to this. And yeah, I'd love some communication. I'd love your thoughts on it. Anyway, feeling healthier, feeling stronger, recovered the last bout of flu. I've told you I'm on a journey to try and heal my health. Have I won? Have I beat that journey? I wouldn't say yes yet. Anyway, still on that journey. Anyway, it's my birthday. I'm going to go and enjoy my birthday. I'm going to go and do a workout. I'm going to try and uplift my mood. I need to do that. Okay. Much love and appreciation. Namaste.